You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your diva and knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always serving you knowledge, wisdom, and spiritual awareness from a spiritual standpoint. So nevertheless, y'all, I thought it was very imperative that I talked about this particular situation that has gone viral. I had to give it a minute, to see how everything will play out. A lot of times these content creators, as soon as something goes viral, they like to respond to things like it's Little Caesar's Pizza hot and ready, and they want to be the first ones to get it out there. But I wanted to give it some time to kind of play out until we got some more information. Just to kind of really see what all this would all entail and boil down to. So if y'all have not heard or haven't been keeping up with the news, I get it. Everybody has more important things to do. There's this video going viral of a 14-year-old who decided to unalive a man, a very aggressive man, who decided to physically attack his mother in a public restaurant with nobody coming to her defense, simply over a verbal disagreement. The woman did not cuss him out. However, she was standing her ground, and for whatever reason, he did not like that. He wanted her to shut the F up, and because she would not shut the F up, because she's a grown-ass woman, and this is a free country, you have a right to speak your mind however you see fit. He could not handle her mouthpiece and decided to deck her not once but twice. Meanwhile, keep in mind, she's in a restaurant, 2-3 other people in line behind her. They see this aggressive thug deck her twice in the mouth over a verbal altercation. She didn't threaten that she was going to shoot him. She didn't threaten that she was going to hurt him. She did not threaten him in no shape or form. So his actions outweighed the situation. In other words, his actions did not warrant for him to take it to the level in which he chose to take it to. But I guess his ego, or rather if it was the audience that was there, he felt like he had to put her in her place, and now he's in his final resting place because of that. So everybody's been talking about this, and for the most part, a lot of people feel that the 14-year-old was definitely in the right for defending his mother. I also have that same perspective. I agree that this young man had to do what he had to do to protect his mother. Once you witnessed, it wasn't like you heard it. Once you witnessed your mother getting physically assaulted, you already know at that point in time, all bets are off. You don't get to choose, pick and decide how I come at you. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to defend my mother. So the woman, the mother in the situation, I'm sure she knew it was going to escalate because of the way the man was coming at her. So she texted her son, who was sitting in the parking lot, I guess waiting for his mother to bring the food. So having that womanly intuition, when you up against something more aggressive than you, and there's pretty much nothing you can do to diffuse the situation. Only women who have been in this kind of situation that did not do anything to cause it. I get it. You have some women out there that are very ratchet, that are very foul at the mouth, that would threaten grown men and would challenge men like they are men. I get it. In that circumstance, if you coming at a man like you a man, you're going to get dealt with as a man. You can't want to be treated like a lady if you up here threatening grown men and putting your hands first on grown men. It is what it is at that point. You don't get to pick and choose when you want to be treated like a lady. But in this case, this woman did not come at this man in an aggressive manner. Her tone might have been aggressive, her going off on him, but we're living in a free country where you're allowed to say what you want to say. Even police cannot put their hands on you because you cussing them out, or you screaming, or you yelling at them. There's nothing you can do with that. Even when I used to work at the jail as a correctional officer, I've had inmates call me the B word, call me hoe, call me everything but the child of God. that still didn't give me the authority, even though I had authority. That didn't give me the right to go in their cell, attack them, beat them, deprive them of their medicine, doing anything malicious to them to prove a point. Because that was not my place to be able to abuse my authority. In this case, the actions that this man decided to take as far as attacking this woman, it was not warranted. It was not necessary. It was simple a verbal altercation. And I don't know if this hyper masculine dude felt like he had to prove a point because his ego was getting bruised, that a woman was talking back to him. You know, men like this that are usually already abusive and aggressive, they won't take nothing from no woman because it's just in them to physically harm a woman. And I know because when I used to work at the jail with men who used to be very aggressive towards me or would be very verbally abusive towards me, when I would look up their record, it would make sense to me why they felt why they felt it was so necessary to constantly come at me. And I realized that because most of them in most cases had domestic violence, a history of it, or battery, any history of physically fighting women, they were in a controlled environment in which they knew they couldn't put their hands on me. But the violent nature that they're used to having, they would become very verbally aggressive towards me. Because they knew they could not hit me or put their hands on me, being that they was under my authority. But instead, they would compensate for it by using their mouthpiece, by being disrespectful, by being very verbally abusive, by insulting me, calling me names. It didn't happen a lot. I didn't get into it with too many male inmates for the most part. A lot of them respected me and I got along with them, but it was always them one or two. And I promise you, a lot of guys think that when a woman is being disrespected, she brought it upon herself. And I'm a living witness. I can tell you, sometimes guys, you know, I can't speak for all women, but in some cases, no matter how humble a woman is, even if she's letting a man talk trash, even if she's defending herself, you have some men that just will not tolerate a woman defending herself. And the moment she defends herself, they look at it like she's trying to overly dominate me. She's trying to overly emasculate me. She's trying to emasculate me or whatever. When really, I'm going to give you the same energy you give me. You yelling at me, I'm going to yell at you. You cuss me out, I'm going to cuss you. Some women, we know how to match energy. There are women who try to overly dominate a man's energy, especially when she was the one who provoked it. Like I said, that's a different story. But in this case, it's a prime example of what women go through. We have to be very careful with how we defend ourselves now. A man can disrespect you, say what he want to say out his mouth, and the moment you say something back, he will fight you like you a ninja. He will fight you like a grown man. He will curse you out like you a grown man. He will drag you. This is different times we live in. Back then, you know, you could say your piece to a man, even if you bruise his ego a little bit. He didn't allow a woman to take him out of his masculine character to where he felt like he needed to put his hands on her. He would just laugh at her, which would make a woman feel really stupid, knowing that she's not getting the best of him and that she's not bruising his ego. Oh, girl, man, get out of here. You a broad. You just a female. You know, you don't hold no rank. You know, men knew how to make you feel small without even physically putting their hands on you. But we are living in different times, y'all, where this is it's a different breed of women. You have a different breed of men. It's different now. They don't bend all the rules. A woman don't know how to stay in a woman's place. A man don't know how to stay in a man's place. But in this situation, this dude was totally out of pocket. And anybody who wants to debunk that, I'm not even going to argue with you, because you do have some men who believe in violence, like Kevin Samuel used to say, domestic discipline. You have some men who think like that, and they think it's necessary to put their hands on a woman, even if she's not threatening him or not doing anything to bring him bodily harm. You have some men who strongly believe that it's necessary to put your hands on a woman at all times. And this is just one of those situations in which if it wouldn't have been this woman, it would have been me, it would have been anybody's mother. Anybody was going to get it. It just so happened this woman, Mrs. Hood, it just unfortunate it was her day. But this guy, just based off his behavior, anybody was going to get it. You know, but to give y'all some background, I'm going to read the article on this, y'all, so everybody could kind of be up on game. I'm going to try to read through it quick because I don't want to bore y'all to death. But this all happened in Chicago. Now, what's going on, y'all, is she's filing a lawsuit after charges against her and her son was dropped after the deadly shooting incident. But we're going to go ahead and go into the article, and then we're going to further discuss the lawsuit and, you know, what may become of it. So, nevertheless, Kalisha Hood, 35, was flanked by her attorneys in Bronzeville during a news conference where they announced that they have filed a complaint against the city of Chicago and 5 police officers. So now she's going in and doing a lawsuit after the charges was dropped where her 14-year-old shooting the man who physically assaulted her. They claim Hood was falsely arrested and maliciously prosecuted, and that she has also suffered emotional distress. On June 18th of this year, my life changed, my son's life changed, Hood said. Never in a million years would I have imagined ever being brutally attacked, beaten, and then arrested. This comes after the Cook County State's Attorney's Office dropped all criminal charges against her and her 14-year-old son. The charges stem from an incident at a hot dog stand on June 18th at the 11600 block of South Halsted Street. Police said Hood was arguing with a man in line. That's when police said her 14-year-old son came in and he is watching from the doorway. Police and witnesses said the man arguing with his mother, who has also been identified as 32-year-old Jeremy Brown, repeatedly punches Hood in the head. The attack was captured on cell phone video, which went viral after it was shared by local activists. Police said as his mother is being hit, the teen fired his gun repeatedly at Brown, shooting him in the back. Police said Brown ran out and the mother and son did too, with the son still going after him, pow-powing him. Brown was pronounced unalived at the scene from multiple gunshot wounds. Hood and her son were later charged with first-degree murder. No one else in the establishment did anything, and so once he saw his mother get severely hit, he took action. Hood's attorney said prosecutors did the right thing and that she was the victim in the case. When a woman is violently attacked by a man, an unarmed woman, then she shouldn't be arrested, Hood's attorney, Brandon Brown, said. If your mother or sister or daughter was attacked in the restaurant when she is trying to order a cheeseburger, would you expect she would be arrested? Hood and her attorneys did not answer direct questions about the incident. They would only say that she and her son need time to heal, and at some point she will present herself again and speak more in depth about what happened. Her attorney said wrongful charges have caused great harm to Hood and her family's reputation. At one point, Hood said during the news conference that everything I worked for has been tarnished. Her attorney said they plan to file additional lawsuits. In addition to the murder charge, the woman had faced a felony count of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. By Monday, the Cook County State's Attorney Office dropped all charges, saying in a statement that based upon the facts, evidence, and the law, we were unable to meet our burden. What this leaked video did was it really flipped the prosecutor's view on the case, legal analyst Sofer said. Before seeing this, they clearly were of the view that the defendant was the aggressor. Now they are of the view that the person they have formerly seen that the victim was the aggressor. Anti-violence groups said they've been responding to a recent uptick in shootings in the West Pullum neighborhood. Since May 23rd, there has been 8 shootings and 5 homicides in the area. So, basically, Mrs. Hood, she texted her son and, pretty much warned him about what was going on while he was sitting in the car, and that's what made him stand at the doorway to see if the situation was going to continue to escalate. Mr. Brown, being so hyper masculine and wanting so badly to control and regulate the situation. He's not paying attention to his surroundings. He not noticing there's this young kid standing in a doorway watching how you come at this woman, and he didn't even realize that was his mother. And coincidentally, he was like, "Oh, my grandma. Oh, my grandma. If you say one more thing, okay, you're with your grandma too." Okay, so this is the aftermath of being a hypermasculine male. Not having discretion, not using your common sense, not having any discretion, but using aggression is how he basically met his own demise. He caused it. He brought it upon himself. Once it escalated, he should have just been man enough to leave the situation and walk away. It wasn't that serious. His life wasn't being threatened. The woman didn't say she was going to unalive him. She didn't have a weapon on her. She did not come at him in an aggressive manner. All she used was her mouthpiece. And it's unfortunate. It's a lot of lessons that need to be learned out of this. And even though the charges were dropped, there's so much that we need to learn. And I know that's what a lot of the bloggers are really placing more emphasis on. He deserved it. He should have got unalived. And a lot of black women, of course, they're celebrating this because we're so used to not being protected. So the fact that the charges was dropped for her and her son, people are kind of gloating off of this, and for their own personal reasons. Now, did he deserve it? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes, he deserved it. He does not deserve any empathy, any sympathy. He does not even deserve a GoFundMe, okay? Nobody better not even donate $2, because I'm sure his family will be ignorant enough to probably put up a GoFundMe, okay? But there's a lot we have to look forward to with this situation. Now, I'm concerned about this young man's well-being. He's 14 years old, and based on the pictures that I saw and different pictures of people posted with him, he seems like a really good kid. From what I can, as far as what I know, he's never been in trouble. He doesn't have a juvenile record. And as far as how he got the gun, he did not carry that on him. That was his mother's piece, okay? For those who wonder, well, he's such a good kid, why he carrying? His mother told him, the unalive this man. And when you experience that type of attack, you don't care about nothing but trying to conquer your attacker. You want to defeat your attacker. I know if I'm somewhere and a man is beating me because we had a disagreement, or at a Chinese food restaurant, and my daughter is there, and I know my daughter cannot physically protect me from this man because she's a female herself, and I'm carrying, because I always carry. I carry my 9 on me all the time. But there's been times I left it in my ride, so if something happens and I know my daughter is sitting there, most likely I would have done the same thing. Because this man is bringing harm to me. If anything, he damn near really could have killed her. If he would have hit her the wrong way, it could have very well went the opposite, where the woman could have lost her life. A lot of people don't think about stuff like that. And I get it, but this is not one of those times to be choosing sides, to be defending no reckless ninja thug because he's a black man. At this point in time, I'm not looking at the fact that he's just black and he's a man. I'm looking at the fact that this man is aggressive. He's a threat to society. If he's a ticking time bomb like that, anybody could get it. And it was going to be more women that would have got it, because if he would have survived that situation and nothing would have happened, this dude's ego would have really tripled and escalated, and he probably would have been doing that anywhere he went. He probably one of them dudes in the club, if a woman reject him because he trying to run some game and she seemed uninterested in him, oh, well, F you be, and she goes back and says, ninja, F you too. He'll just start beating on her. We cannot condone this type of behavior from anybody. We can't condone it from violent, aggressive black women. We can't accept it from violent people, regardless if that person is black, white, Puerto Rican, Latino. We cannot make people think that they can handle their feelings by using aggression, using violence, just because they can't have their way. People who do this, they need to get locked up, or in the worst case scenario, they need to be sent to the grave. Because if he did it one person, mama, he would have did that with anybody. And it wouldn't have mattered if the woman started it or not. This was a very aggressive man. And women who have encountered aggressive men like this could relate. Like I said, I've had my share of men being very aggressive, and for the long part, I'm a pretty laid back female. You know, I try not to push a man to the point to where he has to put his hands on me. But you know, this day and age, really, women, we ain't got to push a man to be aggressive. They'll be aggressive just because. And a lot of you men can't relate to this, you know, because y'all don't receive it like we do. But I'm sure y'all have had y'all share of women really trying you, really being disrespectful, and you feeling defeated because, you know, if you put your hands on this woman, you going to jail. You know, so it's a very, very sticky situation either way it goes. But in this situation, this woman had no other choice. You know, and again, he was so aggressive and so busy, you know, letting his ego boost him up to where he felt invincible enough to hit this woman, seeing that there's other men in that establishment. He was just that comfortable. That's just how much he did not have no respect for nobody there. He didn't respect there was an old man there. You didn't respect there was an old man there who most likely probably would have had an issue with seeing you attack another woman. And a lot of people got in their feelings because they you know, because of the man's aggressive nature. A lot of them walked out and left. I understand, you know, I get it. This day and age, too many people done got killed trying to defend, trying to step in and help, you know, step into other people's battles. This is a different world. You can't, you know, as much as you want to have a heart and as much as you don't want to see nobody hurt, you will end up getting hurt in the middle of somebody else getting hurt. I've witnessed it. I've witnessed innocent people that was good people end up unalived in a situation trying to defend somebody. Matter of fact, one time when I worked at the jail, this woman lost her life because she tried to break up a fight, tried to defuse the situation, and the woman who unalived her was one of the inmates at my facility. And you can tell she didn't have any remorse for unaliving somebody who was only trying to do the right thing. This was, she didn't unalive the person who she fell out with. She didn't unalive the person who she was having the issue with. She unalived the person who was trying to do the right thing by diffusing the situation. Listen, when people get mad and they see black, anybody could get it. They don't think, oh, well, this person just trying to, you know, calm things down. I'm not going to unalive this person because they trying to diffuse the situation. When people see black, anybody can get it. So I understand why those people left and walked out of that establishment, and they didn't come to the woman's defense, which in actuality was another thing that caused this young man to feel like I got to take matters in my own hands. I'm the only one who can defend my mama. Nobody else is going to do it. And mind you, as aggressive as that man is, I wouldn't have challenged him in no fist fight. Absolutely not. At this point, it's not about a fair fight. You already done decked my mama twice, and I'm going to go up on you so you can deck me and beat the piss out of me. My mom is in no position to help me if I don't come at this person right and take them out the first time on a dime, because both of us going to be messed up. Ain't nobody help my mama, so they darn sure ain't going to help me. As aggressive as that man was, that's the only, he had to be exterminated. Ain't no other way around it. What are you going to do? Unless you Superman or Mike Tyson. And listen, you have to realize they live in Chicago, a city known for violence. Ain't no such thing as no fair fight. We not knuckling it out. Nah. You gon' you gon' you know what I'm saying? You gon' physically attack me, attack my mother, attack my loved one. No, I'ma raise the ball and I'm gonna empty my clip on you. And I'm going to take you all the way till I know you can't get back up. So a lot of people try to defend it by saying, oh, when he left, he kept coming after him. As aggressive as that dude was, you better take him all the way out. I would have ran after him and put every last bullet in his back due to the fact that I don't want this dude coming back for me. If he was that bold and beating up my mama and physically attacking my mother over some verbal words, I can't let you walk. I got to take you all the way out. I got to make sure you get in first class to hell. I can't play with it. I don't want you coming back on me. You get well in the hospital after a couple of wounds. Your wounds done heal up and you come back to finish me off. Somebody that aggressive, you got to finish the job. It is what it is. So at that point, he no longer that there's no empathy for the reaction of what he got. This man was very aggressive. So a lot of people felt like Mrs. Hood's son was overly aggressive by going after him and still blasting him. Listen, once you bring aggression, you don't get to pick and choose how I react to your aggression. I may take it to a whole nother level. I may bring it to a level that you didn't even present it to me. You may just bring a bow and arrow. I'm going to bring a cannonball. That little bow and arrow can cause some major damage depending on where the hell it land at. Me, I'm going all out. You hurt me, you attacking me, you physically damaging me. I ain't no room for me to say and think, oh well, he just shot me with a bow and arrow. I'ma just get a rubber and a rock. No, I'm gonna get a cannonball. It's gonna be some massive destruction. I'ma make sure you can't get back up. Now, let's say if it was the other way around. Let's say if it was her son who had got into an argument with him. Put the son in her shoes. The mother, she would have did the same thing. But you dealing with an aggressive guy like that. That's why I tell my daughter. My daughter, she still goes out, and goes to the clubs and stuff like that. And I tell her, listen, when a dude is drunk and, he's acting a little hostile and aggressive and he's disrespectful, don't be trying to challenge him, because some of these guys are weak. They're watered down in masculinity. They can't take a woman just saying a few words, bruising their ego. No, they want to bruise a woman once their ego is bruised. They can't take that L. You're dealing with a different breed of men. Back in my day, we used to beat up guys or push guys and they laugh at us. Now you do that, these guys will hurt you. And I tell my daughter, she was in one similar situation where a guy got really aggressive with her because she cussed him out or went off on him because he was trying to show off in front of his homeboys. I told her, do not do that anymore. Do not ever do that. If a dude is coming at you, say what you got to say. You walk away and you leave the establishment. Don't be trying to go toe-to-toe with him because these dudes are watered down. He'll shoot you because you embarrassed him in front of his homeboys. That's where we are. So also there was another point I was going to make about the case in which the mother was so angry. I think Jeremy Brown's girlfriend, somebody who was there with him but in a vehicle or whatever, the mother tried to encourage her son to also unalive, I believe, the girlfriend. I hope he don't have a girlfriend or friend that so happened was a female or whatever. They wanted her. She was trying to get her son to unalive the girlfriend, but the son was like, you know, he utilized his discretion, like, nah, we ain't gonna take it there. You know, we just gonna get who need to be got. So I'm glad that the young man utilized his discretion and didn't take it there. And you know, I get it. The mother was just pissed. She was so pissed with the way that man was physically assaulting her, and nobody came to her defense. You know, she went ham. She wanted everybody to get it that was involved with him. She wanted everybody to get it. It says here in the article, after the teen stopped shooting at Brown, his mother allegedly told him to shoot Brown's girlfriend. So evidently, I guess he had a girlfriend, and if he does, Lord help her. Because if he's like that over a simple altercation, I could only imagine. So prosecutors also said Hood tried to grab the gun herself before her son shoved her off, and the two fled the scene. The shooting, as I mentioned to y'all, Brown ran from the store. He did, but the teen and his mother followed Brown into the parking lot to keep finishing him off. But like I said, based upon the facts, evidence, and the law, they were unable to meet the burden of proof, so they had to drop the charges. Now, what's going on is the mother is suing the police department because basically what she and her attorneys are insinuating is that since y'all dropped the charges, y'all see I was not in the wrong. So I never should have been arrested. I never should have been given any charges. And because y'all did arrest me, and because I was given charges, this has affected and impacted my life. People are looking at me like the aggressor. People are looking at me like I caused this man's life to be taken for no reason. So in her mind, she feels justified, since the charges are dropped, that she needs to sue the police department for that. So on that note, I don't know how far that's going to get, because people do get arrested, but in this case, I don't think it was unlawfully, because there was a life that was taken, but they did drop the charges, and it wasn't like she was locked up for 8-9 months to a year, to where she lost her job, you know, lost her house, because she didn't have a job all those months, and lost and fell behind on her mortgage. Other than, you know, people having their own opinions about it, and people looking at her sideways, that's a giving. No, there's nothing anyone can do about that. But I don't know if she's trying to capitalize off of this, because maybe she needs the money, realizing she may have to move or relocate, which that's going to be my next thing I'm going to talk about. But I don't know if she's trying to capitalize off of this, thinking she's going to get empathy or sympathy. But they did indeed drop the charges. Now, should she get rewarded for it? I can't really say for sure, yay and nay. Everybody has a difference in opinion about that. My thing, if she gets rewarded for it, cool, kudos to her. You know, she gets something out of her pain and shame and embarrassment. However, if she doesn't get it, I wouldn't feel too bad about that either, because they did drop the charges. So she did get her due diligence, but they had to make an arrest, because there was a body on that scene. Not only that, also for her safety, because ain't no telling who would have came back and finished off. We don't know if this dude is gang affiliated, which brings me to my next case. Everyone doesn't understand this incident can lead to so many other things. We still don't know what's to come of this, even though everybody is celebrating the death of Jeremy Brown, righteously so. He did bring it upon himself, but we do know that Chicago is known as one of the most dangerous cities, one of the dangerous states in the United States of America, Chicago, the city of Illinois. We know they are known for a high crime level of violence, particularly gun violence. So we don't know what kind of ties Jeremy Brown has to the streets. Now, he may not be in the gang. He may have family, cousins that are in the gang, and a lot of people, even though the death is justified in this case, we all know that even when you're justified and defending your life, it does not mean that other people are going to see it that way. For instance, a lot of you may not remember the death of rapper BTB Savage, who had unalived a gentleman, a guy, for breaking into his home, and he was not charged. Him and his fiance or girlfriend was in charge with unaliving him in the process of the guy breaking into his residence, because surveillance footage showed that the guy unrighteously so did break into BTB Savage's home. So BTB Savage unalived him because him and his fiance was there. He had to protect himself. Now, where it gets sticky, and this is where the case is a little bit different, but it's going to all tie in together, so just kind of marinate with me on this. BTB Savage decided to keep going on and on and on about how he unalived the guy who broke into his home. Now, the family was already hurt and devastated that they lost a loved one, but they understood the assignment, which is why they didn't retaliate and get back at BTB Savage, because they realized, hey, our cousin, our brother, my son, or whoever, they brought this upon themselves. So the family was willing to take the L and let that be. BTB Savage kept going on social media. Then he did an interview bragging about it, basically getting clout off of this man's death. Now, again, even though he was in the right, but he should have let it go at that. He kept bragging about it, and he basically, was clout chasing. And that is when someone who was close to the guy who broke into his home, they too came back and retaliated and took the life of BTB Savage. BTB Savage, again, was the rapper who unalived the guy, which I got his name now, Omar Richardson, who, again, was in the wrong for breaking into his home. But BTB Savage kept on bragging about it, kept on, trying to clout chase, doing interviews, basically rubbing it in everybody's face, rubbing it in the guy's family face, because the guy's dead, gone, he's not coming back. So what ended up happening was one of BTB Savage's, well, not BTB Savage, but one of Omar Richardson's people came back and retaliated and took his life. Now, truth is, BTB Savage's mother kept telling him, son, kill it, stop talking about it, don't bring it up, don't address it. And BTB Savage, I guess he was enjoying the fame or the notoriety he got off of Omar Richardson's death. He even posted a picture of, I think, a bloody shirt or the bloody scene in which he unalived the guy. So imagine the guy's family is already grieving. You steady rubbing it in. So anyway, somebody came back, a friend or a relative, not sure, but they went ahead and unalived him. One of Omar's family members, so the reason I brought that part up was to state that even when you are in the right, it does not mean other people are going to let it go that easily. Now, the only difference is, of course, Carlicia's Hood's son, he's not going around bragging or making a big publicity stunt out of taking this man's life. But the problem is so many other people that are doing it. And I don't think they realize that, this is probably going to anger and fuel Jeremy Brown's family or people. And we can't let that go like that. They're not looking at it like Jeremy Brown is in the wrong, so y'all by no means have no right to get upset with how people choose to feel about the situation. If people choose to celebrate his death, if people choose to keep talking about it, y'all can't do anything about that. But you cannot change the mindset of people. And my concern is, hopefully, nobody comes back and targets this young man, because his face has been all over social media, all over the news. And let's face it, we are living in some evil ass times in which people want to get clout off of people who are getting clout. You have people who intentionally want to conquer or want to unalive somebody who's getting a lot of praise or getting a lot of notoriety. These are the times that we're living in. Everybody's clout chasing, and they don't care at what expense they have to go, how far they have to go to get it. So my thing is, I hope that this somehow kind of fizzles down a little bit, because I don't want this young man to be retaliated against, because I know in the streets there's no rules. There's no rules to this thing. There's no rules to the game. Everybody's not going to take the L. Well, you lost your brother. That's his fault. He shouldn't have hit that man's mother. Oh, so what? Your cousin gone. He brought that upon himself. We don't know what evil, sick, twisted individual is going to look at it like, your son was wrong for taking my cousin, my brother, my friend's life, so we're going to go after him. So my thing is, I think at this point, Mrs. Hood and her son may very well need to relocate. I fear for this man's safety. While she's concerned about lawsuits and trying to get revenue from this, and I'll be surprised if it's successful, because a lot of people who's been unlawfully arrested, unless you unlawfully did time and been incarcerated for years, I really don't see where the compensation is going to work out in her favor. But I am not a lawyer or an attorney, so I really don't know if that's probable, and it very well could be. But my thing is, I feel like she needs to relocate. Not only that, this young man is going to really need psychological help. That she should be concerned about getting her son counseling, seeing that the state covers him getting therapy, getting psychological help. That would have been one of my main concerns, because this man has never unalived anybody before. And anybody who's ever had to unalive, I've talked to inmates, I've talked to people, and they tell you how it really it really haunts them, that they be seeing these individuals come after them in their sleep. They be having the shakes at night. Hopefully this young man don't resort to illegal drug use to get his mind off of it. Something that's heavy, especially being that it was nationally publicized. I know for a fact this is going to psychologically take a toll on this young man. He's only 14. He hasn't gone through enough in life to know how to deal with this type of situation, to know how to handle it. He's a young man that's still transitioning into becoming a full adult man. I'm concerned for his safety, and I'm concerned for his mental. While she's trying to do the lawsuit, she needs to make sure her son is getting all the spiritual and psychological help he needs, because she was not the one who pulled that trigger. Her 14-year-old son, who is still a child, who is still mentally and emotionally developing, he was the one who took this man's life. And it might have felt good at that moment in time, because he was defending his mother and came to her to rescue. But we don't know if this young man gonna have nightmares behind this. If this man's evil spirit is gonna taunt him. We just don't know. You know what I mean? People I've talked to, they tell you they have sweats at night. They can't sleep at night. He's only 14 years old, and all of this pressure with the world, everybody knowing. Some people celebrating it, and then it's a lot of people who ain't. He got to deal with the people who ain't. Oh yeah, if he ever tried me like that, if he ever come after me like that, or now that they know he is capable of going there, you'll have some evil-minded people that'll test his gangster just because. These are the times we living in. And again, we don't know Jeremy Brown, his background. I looked into his Facebook page. He definitely, you could tell, was a ruthless character, shooting the birdies, acting like, I don't know if he's really gangster. You can act gangster and pretend to be gangster, but you can tell this guy pretty much had no filter. And the audacity, he has 2 daughters, y'all. He has twin girls. Can you believe that? Twin girls. Wow. Unbelievable. So his actions have caused him to lose his life. Now he can't even help raise his twin daughters. Now think about it, his twin daughters are going to need psychological help too, because they're going to know their father lost his life by punching a woman, and it's not going to be a rumor. They're going to be able to go on the internet and see that, and guess what, he's not going to be here to explain to them, I was just mad, daddy was wrong, daddy was tripping or going through something that day. The world is going to help his children have a negative perception, because it's blatantly, it's viral, it's all over the place. And these kids are smart now. They're not dumb, they're not slow. These kids know too much. They're very observant. So the mother of his twins, she's going to really need some help. Not that we should care, because he didn't bring it upon himself. But I just want y'all to understand that everybody's looking at, okay, yeah, he defended his mama. The charges was dropped. Whoop-de-woo, good. They good to go. They can move on with their life. It is not that cut and dry. I pray this young man does not get affected by this. It doesn't come back to haunt him. I pray for God to cover him, for nobody to retaliate, because they're so angry that everybody is rejoicing at the loss. People are evil. People will get mad when you are celebrating that a tyrant, a demon is gone. You know what I mean? So they got a lot they're going to have to look forward to. And I'm hoping people understand that. Okay, the man is gone. He deserved it. He caused it. Now, what's the next step? Is his mama going to live in Chicago, Illinois after this? Knowing how that type of environment is, knowing people, these young people don't let stuff go. You people so crazy, they'll get involved in it just to get clout. Somebody will try to test him, like I said earlier. Or somebody, will think, oh, okay, he got a name, I could get a name off of taking his name. That's what they doing. You got people that want to earn bodies off of somebody else who got a body. They want that street cred. They want that street, they want that street notoriety. You know what I'm saying? Now that this young man has got a name, somebody want to earn a name off of his. You feel me? We see this all the time. So nevertheless, y'all, it's just the beginning. That's just one part of the puzzle. Yes, the charges was dropped, but what about their safety? Come on, y'all know how Chicago is. Chicago is off the chain. As much as I would like to go there and visit, I would never go there to visit, because I've heard nothing but, bad things, you know what I mean, about Chicago, and I'm afraid the one time I go to just want to visit, that may be the last time. So I just, I don't hear too many pleasant things about Chicago, but it's a very sad situation. My heart goes out to, Mrs. Hood and her son. Hopefully they can spiritually and psychologically, survive this in the aftermath. Definitely, my heart does go out to the Browns, because his actions have caused him to be in the situation he's in. I'm sure he has a mother. I don't know if he has a father, but I know he has a baby mama. And it's unfortunate that all of them got to deal with his actions. You know, they got to deal with the aftermath, the damage of it. But anyway, leave y'all comment below. Let me know what y'all think about the situation. As y'all can see, I can't do my content in peace because people is bringing my phone off the hook. But before y'all leave, please make sure you hit that like button. Also, I'm going to be transitioning my channel into membership mode soon. So for anybody who wants to look out for your girl and be willing to donate $3 a month to my channel every month, that would be so awesome. But for those who can't, continue to like my video, share, and subscribe, so that way it makes it into the algorithms. So I'm gonna shut it down, y'all. It is your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Cafe de Paris, where I'm always going to serve you knowledge from a spiritual aspect. Y'all be blessed. Take care. Talk to y'all soon. Rest in peace to all of those who have been affected by this unfortunate event. But guess what? Think twice when you go out there and you make these type of decisions, because it's not only you that's getting affected, it's your loved ones who are left behind who has to deal with the decisions that you make. Y'all take care. Be blessed.